everyone gets relegated. And I mean everyone. Alright, today I'm going to be checking out a video called Spanish Football Explained. It's by a small creator here on YouTube with about 2,000 subscribers. There's only about 4,000 views on this video, so I'm going to put a link to this video in the description underneath here. So if you enjoy this video, please go over there and check out the original video. Give him a like, give him a subscribe, let him know that you enjoyed the video. So here we go. I've not seen it. So
ever wondered why the Spanish football and league system is so difficult to understand? Anything below the second division can get lost in the sheer amount of clubs and geographical separations. So, in this video, we will go through the Spanish league system in basic terms. La Liga. We'll start with the easy one. La Liga is the top division in Spain, where 20 teams compete to become national champions. It's historically been a division dominated by Real Madrid and Barcelona, who have respectively won 34 and 26 titles each. However, in the last decade, Atletico Madrid have managed to disrupt this rhythm slightly and now have 11 league titles to their name. The structure. Just to explain these things, we're going to use the most recent
So there's three teams that dominate the
recording,
La
which is the
Liga?
2020-2021 season. So in the top half of the table, the top 4 teams at the end of the league season qualify for the UEFA Champions League group stages. Those finishing 5th and 6th earn a place in the UEFA Europa League group stages.
I mean, so this is kind of like the
as of the
Premier League.
2020-21 season, the team in 7th place is entered into the UEFA Conference League.
Okay.
But no, this division isn't a fair representation of the actual system, as Villarreal, who had won the Europa League yet finished in 7th, automatically qualified for the Champions League. This means that no team from Spain was placed in the Conference League in the 2021-2022 season, but from now on, unless this event occurs again, the 7th place team will play in the Conference League. Now for the relegation zone, which is a fairly simple system. The 3 teams who finish with the least amount of points in 18th, 19th and 20th position face relegation to the Segunda Division. The Segunda Division. Now the Segunda Division, commercially branded La Liga Smartbank, is the second tier of Spain's football pyramid. It is currently home to 22 teams who play 42 rounds of games. The top 2 are promoted at the end of each season. Meanwhile, the teams placed 3rd to 6th then take part in a playoff tournament after the regular season finishes. Generally, the team in 3rd place plays a team in 6th place in a double-legged semi-final, while the 4th and 5th place teams do the same. This is then followed by another double-legged final, where the winner gains promotion to La Liga. And like many playoff tournaments, this has in recent years created some high drama and resulted in a number of unlikely promotions. For example, in the 2020-2021 season, Rayo Vallecano finished 6th in the table. However, Rayo actually managed to beat Leganes.
Alright, I'm going to pause here. So I think a lot of people sometimes, I've seen some comments of people not liking the playoff system. I think some people think, why is the regular season important at all if you can end up not advancing? Like, so let's say that you had a great team all year long, you dominated, and then you come into this playoff tournament and some team that didn't dominate all season, somehow they get hot at the right time, right at the end of the season, and they take out a much better team in the playoffs, and you don't, like, I think some people don't like that idea that that means that your season was wasted. Like, and I don't know. I love playoffs. That's the drama right there. Like, the drama is, like, there can be times when a team is 17-0, or like, you know, they haven't lost. They're one of the dominant teams, and they come into the playoffs, and that's just what makes it magic. Like, another team could be on a hot run right at the end and take out a giant. And so it ups the stakes. I love the playoff drama. I love that playoff format. So I know, but some people, they just really don't like the idea of playing a tournament at the end of the season. You know, so I like it. I like playoffs.
3rd in the table in the regular season, and then beat Girona in the final, gaining promotion to La Liga in the process. Now the Segunda Division features quite a brutal relegation zone, with 4 teams facing the Axe if
4-team
they fail to
relegation
gain
zone.
enough points. The division also permits the entry of B teams. However, it's important to note that these reserve squads are not allowed to be promoted to the Liga in any circumstance. Okay, this is where things start to get slightly more complicated, and we're talking about the Primera Ref, Spain's new third division as of the 2021-22 season. And this level of the pyramid is actually split into 2 separate groups, which is determined by geographical location. This generally means an east-west split in the country. The League of Western teams is referred to as Primera Group 1, whereas the Eastern Group is known as Group 2.
Okay.
However, like many geographical specific leagues, you can't choose what teams actually end up there, and therefore you can consistently see an uneven balance between each group. For example, in the current 2021-22 season, while the majority of teams from the east of Spain play in one group, there are still some teams that face long away trips. For example, Atlético Sanluqueño are only 150 kilometers away from Portugal, but are still grouped in the Eastern Division. This means a maximum away trip of 1,236 kilometers when they face FC Andorra. But, as mentioned beforehand, despite being 2 separate groups, teams are all defined as...
That's crazy though, because 1,000 kilometers... Hold up. Alright. Yeah, I had to check that out for a second. When I drive home to visit my family, which I'm going to be doing at the end of this month, I do it regularly. It's a little over a 500-mile trip for me, which is around, 815 or so kilometers, close to 1,000 kilometers, and I make that trip regularly. It's about an 8-hour drive. Without stops, I can make it in about 7.5 hours. And that's a small commute for NFL teams. Like NFL teams every week an away game is, more than that. They're gonna fly to play games. So I guess if you're talking about like a 3rd tier club, that's an insane amount of travel. But when he said that, I'm like, that doesn't seem like that's that big of a travel to play an away game. But I guess that's where Americans differ, because we commute like crazy. Like, it's nothing for me to think of driving 2 or 3 hours for something. Like, that's not a big thing. Here we go.
Being 3rd division clubs. So the structure. So the winners of both these groups, when 38 rounds of matches are played, gain promotion to the Segunda Division. Meanwhile, the 2nd to 5th place teams in both groups earn a playoff spot in their respective groups. So that means even in the playoffs, they remain in the groups that they played against all season. Now these playoffs see 2 more teams promoted to the Segunda. And that's it for promotion. In terms of relegation, well, if you thought 4 being relegated from the Segunda was bad, then add another to that pain, as 5 teams are relegated from each group. In this division, B teams can also play. However, if a first team underperform and actually end up being relegated to this division, their B team is not allowed to enter. This would happen hypothetically if, say, Celta Vigo had back-to-back relegations and dropped to the league where their B team currently play. Okay, now we're getting down to the really nitty-gritty stuff. The Segunda Division Ref is Spain's 4th division,
at the bottom
but
of
not
the
like
leagues.
other 4th divisions around Europe. The division currently features 90 teams. Yes, 90. These teams are split into 5 groups of 18 separate clubs. But as with the Primera, all clubs are defined as being part of the 4th division. These 4 groups are also divided by the geographical locations of member clubs. Okay, gonna need you to stick with me here. Group 1 is made up of teams in the country's northwest, but also Madrid teams. Group 2, teams from the north but mainly the Basque country. Group 3, mostly teams from Catalonia and the Balearic Islands. Group 4, teams from the west and south of Spain, however teams from the Canary Islands are also included. Group 5, this one is generally a bit more mixed, with teams generally ranging from central Spain to its southeastern coasts. So how does promotion work from this division? Well, despite its dense grouping system, promotion is fairly simple. The top team from each of the 5 groups is promoted, while those who finish in 2nd to 5th fight for promotion in each group's separate playoff tournaments. It's essentially the same system as the Primera, but there's just 5 groups instead of 2. However, things at the bottom of the table are slightly more complicated. 5 teams from each group are relegated, but 4 of the 5 teams who finish 13th in their groupings aren't exactly saved from relegation, as these clubs enter a relegation playoff, which results in 2 of them facing the drop. While the remaining 13th place team, who have finished with the most amount of points of all these 5 teams, head for their holiday safe in the knowledge that they won't be relegated. But this of course means that in 2 of the groupings, 6 teams are actually relegated.
Everyone gets relegated.
Okay, so at this point, we're at the Tercera Ref, which is the country's 5th division. I'm not going to explain this one in detail in this video because it's a very, very complex league that really deserves its own video, so let me know if you'd be interested in watching something more specific on that league. So that was the Spanish football and pyramid explained. Take a few times to study it if you need to, because of course it does get quite complicated towards the end, but I hope that's helped you clear up your understanding, and hopefully you can go in search of more interesting clubs and stories in the future. And if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe, because The Partido is a new YouTube channel for Spanish football in English, and we hope to build up a community of English speakers who enjoy following the game in the country.
Alright. So, what did I take away from this video about the Spanish leagues? Everyone gets relegated, and I mean everyone. That's it. That's what I get from this video. No, the Spanish league system, at the top end, very similar to Premier League, other leagues that football around the world. I kind of understood that going on, but yeah, toward the bottom of things did get more complicated to understand. But anyway, that was a fun video. If you enjoyed this video by the Partido, he's only got 2,700 subscribers. I would go check him out. Go check out his videos, subscribe to it. I thought it was great quality. And just encourage him to continue making these videos, because that was good. All right, if you enjoyed this video, you enjoyed my reaction to it, go ahead and smash my like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.